Alright, so today we're going to talk about rates of reactions in collision theory. So reaction rates are dependent on two main factors as explained by collision theory. And collision theory, as you learned in your POGL, has to do with the colliding of molecules, right? And so we have to have those effective collisions in order for a reaction to occur. Right? So we need enough energy, what we call, to make that effective collision is known as the activation energy. Without this, no reaction is going to occur because the molecules don't react effectively enough. There's not enough energy to make them change. Right? They also have to have the correct orientation. If the molecules don't collide in the right way, then they can't make a new product. Right? So again, this activation energy, or this enough energy, as we talked about, is what determines whether a reaction will actually occur. Right? So if they don't supply enough energy, then it will not happen. So no reaction takes place if the activation energy is not supplied. And we use the symbol EA for the activation energy, which you'll see in the next video. There are four main factors that affect the rate of a reaction, and again we want to think about the things that would allow for more collisions. The things that would allow for more collisions are like agitation. And so when we're talking about agitation, we're looking at stirring, right? So if you stir it, you're more likely to have the reaction happen more quickly, right? If you increase the temperature, again by increasing the temperature, you're going to hit that activation energy much sooner and therefore increase the rate of the reaction. And then increasing the surface area. So if you were to say, crush up your products, instead of having a big block of metal, maybe you have little pieces of metal, and the reaction with the acid then would go much more quickly. Right? So you crush it up into smaller pieces, then you have more collective surface area. And then the final thing is to add a catalyst. You've learned about catalysts before in biology with enzymes, right? And so a catalyst does not take part in our reaction. Okay? All it does is decrease the activation energy. So by decreasing the activation energy, the reaction will occur or can occur at a lower temperature or with less heat energy supplied. And so that can happen more quickly. Okay? And we'll talk more about that in potential energy diagrams video, which is coming up next.